Oh, yesterday so many of us have been waiting for is finally here. G-Shock have officially announced the GW-BX5600, a classic square with an MIP display, along with loads more wicked releases, by the way. Let's get into them, shall we? First up, another one loads of you have been waiting for actually. We've got an all new G Steel, baby. These right here are the new GST-B1000s and they look very good, don't they? These are the latest additions to a series that offers a lot of bang for its buck. I'm personally a big fan of the G Steel series, as I know so many of you are, so it's always great to see some new, although these are slightly different to what we're used to seeing. For starters, these are much more of a traditional sports style of watch with their integrated bracelets. Not that that's particularly a bad thing, you can just tell G-Shock are trying to widen their audience somewhat. These still do very much carry that G-Shock DNA though. They've got those very cool octagonal bezels, which look like they might have a bit of curvature to them, which is very nice. Accompanied of course with the buttons on the outer of its case. But let's talk a little bit more about these dials. As you can see, this series launches in 3 new colorways. We've got a black, a navy blue, and a forest S green, which is probably my pick of the bunch. All sporting this very cool brick pattern, which is obviously a nod to G-Shock's heritage from the DW-5000 and beyond. A very MRG Casioak-like brick pattern, dare I say. Video coming soon, by the way, make sure you subscribe for that one. But yeah, adds a real nice depth to the dial. And these dials are a little bit more minimal too, with there are only 2 sub dials. We've got a 12 and 24-hour indicator at 3 o'clock, along with a big old sub dial between 6 and 9. That indicates the day, the mode, and a 30-minute timer for your countdown timer or stopwatch. Now, one thing I noticed quite quickly was that there isn't a battery level indicator on these ones. Probably would have preferred that on the sub dial rather than that 30-minute timer, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Anyway, alongside this, we've got a nice date window neatly tucked in at 4:30. And as mentioned, these come absolutely stacked with functionality, including all of your standard G-Shock features, along with tough solar and Bluetooth on top. No triple threat with multiband 6 on this one, but that's the case with others in this family. So yeah, we've come to expect that. Not a deal breaker at all, in my opinion. Now, size-wise, these come in at 46.9mm in length, 44.2mm in width, which might be slightly larger than many of you were thinking. Now, these are of course very much G-Shock dimensions, but as they're going for that more traditional sports integrated style of watch, I would have thought they might get closer to that 40mm width. They're nice and slim though at 11.6mm thick. And these actually only weigh 118 grams on arrival, thanks to their carbon core guard construction. So yeah, nice and lightweight. You'll also notice a nice little touch of color on their case back. Urethane buffer parts have been used to connect the bracelet here for extra comfort, which also nicely matches the dial of each one. So yeah, very cool. This is a very, very solid addition to the G Steel and the G-Shock lineup, in my opinion. These are going to be dropping worldwide this month. In the UK, they've got an official price tag of £379, and in the US, they're expected to be $399, which if my experience of G Steels is anything to go by, that is a lot of watch for your money. As always, let me know what you think of these, and if you're planning to pick one up, and if you want to see one on the channel, let me know down below. By the way, just quickly, before we get into our next release, I'm going to be dropping over 10 G-Shocks from my personal collection over on the Time Drop shop for some absolute steals as well. The drop's going to be going live this Sunday, the 9th of November at 3 PM UK time. And for those of you signed up to the newsletter, I'm going to be giving you an exclusive discount on top of those already insane prices. So if you want to grab an awesome G-Shock at an awesome price and you haven't already, make sure you sign up to the Time Drops newsletter right now by going to timedrops.co/subscribe, entering your email, grabbing your code, be ready for Sunday, 3 PM UK time at shop.timedrops.co. Right, next up, now then, G-Shock have just revealed the DWN5600 Nano, a ring-sized version of the iconic square. This is basically a miniature wearable DW5600 that somehow packs every bit of G-Shock DNA within it and is fully functional, complete with mineral glass, dual gaskets on every button, and even a removable case back which allows you to switch up the battery whenever that runs out. Literally a normal G-Shock, just one that fits on your finger. Do we care about dimensions? I suppose so. This one comes in at 23.4mm in length, 20mm in width, and is 7.5mm thick, don't you know, and weighs an incredibly heavy 6 grams. And don't be fooled into thinking this is just one piece, by the way. This thing comes fully adjustable from 48 to 82mm. But this also means, of course, you can wear it around your finger or attach it to a set of keys or your backpack or whatever you want to do. Functionality-wise, this is powered by the 3592 module, which includes dual time, a 1 to 100th of a second stopwatch, an LED backlight, an auto calendar, time flash mode, all in a device that is barely bigger than a peanut M&M. Other chocolates are available. These rings are launching worldwide this November in 3 colorways. We've got a black, a red, and a yellow, each priced the same at £79.90 officially in the UK, and around $110 in the US. And while initially these might seem like a bit of a gimmick, unlike the Casio rings, which were a little bit more for show, still awesome by the way, these are a genuine, fully functional G-Shock for your finger, and I for one am absolutely here for it. Right now I'm probably leaning towards the yellow as my favourite, but who am I to narrow it down to just one? I mean, you could couple 3 and still have 7 spaces left for these. I suppose you could even stack them as well. The possibilities are endless with these. What do you think of them? Are you going to grab one? Let me know down below. Next up, and another one loads of us have been waiting for actually, Central C's first ever G-Shock collab has just dropped, and it's an absolute banger. Unveiled a couple of weekends back at ComplexCon in Las Vegas alongside his Bape and Nike collabs by the way, which were also fire. The G-Shock and SYNA World GW-6900 marks the UK rapper's first full design collaboration with G-Shock since becoming a brand ambassador in 2024. There were a few existing models that his face was put alongside, but never actually an official collab where he put his own stamp on it. Until now. And putting a stamp on it is actually a great pun, because this one is inspired by the British passport. Not the ones being currently issued though, they're more of a very, very dark blue or black. We're talking about the previous burgundy and gold ones, which I'm still a proud owner of, fun fact. But yeah, it's a very cool colorway for a watch, and this one comes dressed in the very same tone with gold graffiti style detailing to cleanly accentuate. The full SYNA logo is stamped across the face, along with a digitalized SYNA printed down its strap, with 2025 engraved on its case back. This one's going to be available very soon. There's already a sign up page on the G-Shock UK website and will be priced at £129. I really, really like this collab. This is a colorway we certainly don't see too often, and one definitely worth waiting for. So yeah, wicked watch. Quick wrist check today. I am wearing the GW-BX5600 GD-4, the rose gold full metal square. One absolute beaut this is, by the way. I've enjoyed wearing this one lately. Again, another one that I don't wear anywhere near enough, but yeah, absolutely love it every time I do. Such a beautiful watch, man. Like a full rose gold watch is always pretty punchy, but when it's a G-Shock, it just gets that nod of approval everywhere it goes. Clean, crisp, positive display as well. Lovely backlight. Gorgeous stuff. Next up, keeping it ComplexCon, Bronx-based designer Jae Tips also dropped a G-Shock for the event. This punchy piece is the all-new DW-6900 What Time You Want, and if you're familiar with his work, it's every bit as vibrant as you'd expect. This new watch features a bold blue and red color combo, complete with multicolor indicator rings and a translucent red strap that fades nicely between 2 shades. The face showcases Jay's signature floral motif taken straight from his personal logo, while the packaging nicely ties it all together. This collab actually already quickly sold out online on his Savior Worldwide website, but is apparently due for a second run on the Casio US website, all priced at $150 US. I love this though, man. It's another perfect example of G-Shock linking up with genuine creators that want to bring their own flavor to the brand. I'm absolutely here for this. Wicked collab. Next up, we've got a brand new model, the GA-B010. So I've banged on a lot about how good the GA and the GD-010 are, the relatively new model from the big K series that originally dropped last year. They offer a load of bang for buck right at the entry level point of the G-Shock catalogue, and of course include that 10-year battery life. And if you too like those models, you'll absolutely love these. So the GA-B010 is an all-new series from G-Shock that offers practically everything the GA-010 offered, but with Bluetooth, tough solar, and a step tracker on top. This is actually the first time we're seeing a step tracker and tough solar combined, which is very cool. And Casio also mentioned that this is a completely new module inside that uses 40% less battery, which is even cooler. These still come in big at 52.3mm in length, 49.3 in width, and are 15.2mm thick, but weigh only 57 grams, which is slightly smaller and 10 grams lighter than the GA-010. These ones come priced at 27,500 yen, so around $180 or £140. Another seriously strong option being brought to the table right here. As you can see, we've got 3 colorways to kick things off. We've got a black with a positive display, a black with a negative display, a full stealth model, as well as a cool khaki green, which is probably my choice again. Really feeling the green today. Let me know what you think of these in the comments. Next up, we've got 4 new additions to the half metal square and Casioak lines, all sporting a negative display and a very industrial grid-like pattern on their bezels. On quick glance, you might not see too much difference here. The bezels are very much the same. It's actually the case which slightly differs. You've got a choice of either a continuation of that stainless steel silver color or a black ion plated finish. So these come with all of your standard G-Shock features, not Bluetooth and tough solar like we see with the GBMs, for example, but again, are very well spec'd and are set to be priced around the $200 to $250 mark. I'm liking these. I would say they probably could have gone with positive displays on the stainless steel cases, but that's just splitting hairs really. I imagine these are right up some of your street. Let me know what you think of these. Next up, we've got even more additions to the GMA-P2100 line. These models are inspired by the lapis lazuli and rose quartz gemstones, whatever that means, and are essentially the new mini Casioaks designed for smaller wrists. These ones are slightly different to the usual model though, like we saw recently, have a nice little addition of a metal accent around their bezels and are expected to be priced around $130. Keeping it small, Well, not ring watch small, but small. We've got two new GM-S2110s. These are cool, again, smaller sized half metal Casioaks with stainless steel bezels and a nice cross hairline finish on their grey and off-white dials respectively. These are priced at 29,150 yen, so I expect them to be just under the $200 mark. And then rounding off the small, we've got two more popping additions to the much loved GMA-S140 line. A much more traditional looking G-Shock that comes packed full of features in a nice navy and cream pairing. The orange accents on that cream one look particularly good. Both expected to be priced around the $100 mark. As I say, all of these models are designed for smaller wrist and are great options for Christmas presents for the missus. And speaking of, you can even go matchy-matchy with them if you want, as G-Shock have also just dropped their Lovers Collections. We've got a pair of GM and GM-S2100s once again, and these ones are inspired by falling stars, which is lovely, isn't it? We've got a midnight blue pair inspired by the night sky, along with a fresh white option inspired by shooting stars, all with a very nice vertical finish on their dials. These are really nice actually, all available individually as well, which is cool. Expected to be priced around $200. Not sure if they're going to be releasing worldwide yet, sometimes these ones don't. Let's see. Next up, we're seeing two new incredible Casioaks in collaboration with the Darwin Foundation. We've seen a penguin and iguana inspired timepiece, but now we're seeing an albatross and a crab adorn the dials of these bad boys. Yep, a crab. Amazing, isn't it? You can see the Galapagos albatross flying on the mode and battery level indicating subdial, sat on a very cool colorway which I thought was just black and yellow to start with, but it's actually got a very cool grey band which rounds things off very nicely in my opinion, while the Sally Lightfoot crab sits upon a red and orange colorway. I can't get over this, man, a crab on a Casioak. A CrabiOak. Both of the dials feature topography of the Galapagos Islands and nicely colour matched positive displays. These are expected to be priced around the $180 or £140 mark and hopefully are releasing worldwide very soon. It did take a little while for them to reach other regions in previous releases, but yeah. What are you thinking of these? I absolutely love this release. CrabiOak, man. CrabiOak. Now then, up next is one of my personal favourites from this month and probably the year already. These are the new 56 and 6900 models inspired by Origami and Mate. These look wicked. So being that they're inspired by the traditional art of origami paper folding, these watches feature prominent dotted lines around their bezels and bands, with an origami symbol of a crane engraved on their case backs, and I've read that it also appears on their LED backlights. So we've got a black 5600. I'm not sure if this is a straight black or more of an aged or faded black, accentuated with white or light grey outlines, and a kind of off-white 6900, which is absolutely a bit of me. As many of you will know, the manga Casioak dropped last year and was an absolutely massive hit with loads of us, not just me, but it actually did win the very prestigious prize of first place in my top 10 G-Shocks of the year last year, so yeah, there's that. And I believe in my review video of that model, I actually mentioned how I'd love to see that sort of thing applied to a 6900, and this is very close. It's definitely close enough in my opinion. I'm absolutely loving this look. It's more of a light sketch style when compared to manga illustrations. Much like my wall art up here actually. You can grab yours at the Time Drop shop right now, cheeky plug. But yeah, both of these look awesome. I've spoken to a number of you already who are super hyped about this release. I'm hoping for a worldwide drop on these ones. It's not confirmed yet. Are you feeling these ones too? Let me know. Next up, G-Shock are dropping a new hippo inspired Mudman for their Love the Sea and the Earth collab for 2025. Insane episode this month, right? If you're enjoying it so far, make sure you hit that like button, and also there's a new hype feature which really helps the performance of the videos and the growth of the channel, so if you could hit the hype button as well, hype up this video as much as you can, that would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, this right here is the latest GW-9500 in collaboration with Earthwatch, inspired by the endangered hippopotamus, and as such features these incredible tones of brown, black and grey with some awesome accents of rose gold. The Mudmans come feature packed as you'd expect, including the likes of Tough Solar and Multiband 6, along with that awesome duplex LCD display. I'm really glad they went positive again with this one. As I mentioned before, the negative isn't so great, so yeah, good choice there. And this particular model was 64,900 yen, which is around $425, and will be dropping this month. And hopefully again will reach regions outside of Japan very soon. But yeah, loving the hippo look on this one. Love the Sea and the Earth collabs never seem to disappoint, and this is another very cool drop. Now then, the one you've all been waiting for, it's finally here. Now I know I said that a couple of years ago when the GW-BX5600 came out. We all thought that might just be it. That wasn't quite it. This is it. This is the one. This is the one. After years of requests and a few near misses, G-Shock have finally delivered what so many of us fans have been asking for, the new GW-BX5600, bringing together tough solar, multi-band 6 and an MIP display, people, all in the iconic 5600 form factor. Finally. Shall I say finally again? Now, before we get into the depth and the specs and all that good stuff, I thought it might be quite interesting to share that I was speaking to the Casio team recently, and they actually mentioned to bring out a new model, it takes 2 years from the initial design to it being on the shelves. So the timing actually makes sense following the response to the GW-BX5600's release in 2023. That model really did split opinions with its heavy fitness focus, especially with the physical addition of a heart rate monitor on its caseback, which actually meant that it became uncomfortable for a lot of users, including myself. Loads of you didn't want all that and made your feelings very well known, and it appears that they've seen that and responded, because this new model is everything that we wanted instead. No heart rate sensor, no sleep tracking, no gimmicks, just pure G-Shock functional goodness. So first things first, let's talk about its display, because that's all everyone's talking about, to be honest. So as mentioned, this is an MIP display, which stands for memory in pixel, which is essentially a super crisp, high contrast, super clear display that's legible in all lighting conditions. Even in direct sunlight, you could probably stand next to the sun and still see this thing. They're just great. And what's even cooler about the display on this model in particular is that it allows you to switch from this new standard MIP display back to the more classic STN display you're used to seeing on G-Shocks. So for those of you that have rocked a GW-M5610 for years, for example, and are looking to upgrade, you'll still have a nice little bit of home comfort if you do. And just like that model, these new GW-BX5600s come packed with functionality too. As mentioned, they've got tough solar and multiband 6, plus Bluetooth on top that allows you to pair with your phone to unlock even more features, along with all of the standard G-Shock features you'd expect, which is effectively everything most of us G-Shock fans could possibly want from a G-Shock. So yeah, these models are slightly larger than your classic 5600s at 49.1mm in length, 44.1 in width, and are 13.4mm thick, but will still feel just right on the wrist at 51 grams. In terms of battery life, this one's expected to last around 6 months on normal use, or 22 months with power saving enabled. So as you can see, they've started things off in the right way here, really, with 2 black models, one with a positive display and one with a negative one. Now, I've become aware that MIP displays should be able to just switch from negative to positive, or there actually technically isn't a negative and positive MIP display. And a lot of you have mentioned how that functionality should just be morphed into one watch, which is completely fair. I guess they just wouldn't sell more watches that way, would they? So yeah, but to be honest, I don't care. I'm just so glad this has finally dropped. This is such a release for the G-Shock purists. It's smart, tough, solar, good looking, MIP, everything else, and most importantly, unmistakably 5600. Now, these have a list price in Japan of 30,800 yen, which is around the $200 mark. I expect these to be towards the £200 mark in the UK as well. So yeah, offer a load of value for money for a daily watch and everything you could possibly want in a daily G-Shock, that's for sure. I mean, this is pretty much the biggest release of 2025 already, isn't it? In terms of listening to what the fans want and responding. I mean, this is it. This is the one. It's finally here. But yeah, a wicked, wicked watch and a must-have for anyone who's been looking for a perfect everyday G. What we said on these ones then, guys, let me know in the comments down below. Are you going to be picking one up? Which one are you going for? I could speak about this release for ages, to be honest. I probably already have. Let's move on. What's going on, guys? Future Andrew here, because mate, literally as I'm editing this right now, they have just dropped the full metal versions of these two. Mental. What an absolutely insane month this is. We've got to talk about them though. So these right here are the all new GW-B5000s, launched in 3 colorways. We've got a silver with a negative display, a gold with a positive display, as well as a 2-tone black and gold colorway with a negative display as well. So luckily, I've already spoken about all the stats: Bluetooth, tough solar, multiband 6, and all the rest of it. You can also switch up your display on these ones too. Now, more specific to this watch, dimensions wise, they come in at 49.3mm in length, 43.6 in width, and are 13mm thick, weighing approximately 172 grams on arrival, which is actually almost exactly the same size. They're just 0.4mm wider than the OG GMW-B5000. And these new ones are also slightly heavier on arrival too. 5 grams in fact, almost an entire G-Shock ring in difference. It's a bit of a different construction on these new ones though. Rather than seeing the full metal bezel wrap around the entire case, G-Shock say a new structure has been developed that connects the bezel and center case from above and below. It almost gives these watches a sort of 2-tone effect, which I'm not quite sure about yet. It works nicely on the bi-colored black and gold model, naturally, but feels a little less of a full metal look on the silver and gold. It could just be the stock images making me think that way. I'll have to check these out in person. Just like the OGs, we've got mineral glass on these, and that screw lock caseback is also brought through to these ones, which is awesome. Now, images of these models have been doing the round for some months now. They were quite heavily leaked. But obviously the final price is something these images can rarely determine. So a lot of us have been curious to see what these would retail for, and well, it's pretty good news. So the silver's listed in Japan at 93,500 yen, which is around $610, while the gold and the black and gold are listed more towards 670. quality. So yeah, pretty close to being in line with the OG metal squares once again. All in all, this is another new wicked watch model added to the G-Shock lineup that I'm sure will soon become a staple. They definitely know it's the shopping quarter, don't they? But yeah, again, let me know where you're at with these full metal versions as well. Which colorway is your favorite? Are you going to be picking one up? I realize I'm asking a lot of questions, but yeah, get in the comments. Now, rounding things off is the absolute pinnacle of G-Shock. They've just dropped their all-new MR-GB2000 for 2025, and it's an absolute beaut. These models usually drop once a year at this time of year, actually, and this looks like some incredible craftsmanship here once again. Now, this watch is inspired by the sword guard created by engraver Masao Kobayashi, apologies for the pronunciation, by the way, and features this incredible phoenix engraving on the bezel, along with 4 green emeralds set into the front screws. Awesome detailing on the dial, bezel, and casing, and a real nice combination of colors too. That emerald green looks awesome. I'm obviously feeling the green today. Of course, feature packed once again, titanium construction, sapphire crystal. These are the very tippity top of the G-Shock catalog, guys, and are priced as such. This one is priced at 935,000 yen, which is around $6,000, and is limited to 800 pieces worldwide. And this limited quantity is usually shared between multiple regions. Absolutely love the MR-GB2000s, especially these releases. They never miss with these. Such a sick watch. That was a lot, wasn't it? As I say, for me, this is the best month of G-Shock releases that I can remember, especially in more recent years since I've been doing these episodes, that's for sure. As always, let me know your favorites in the comments and whether you're going to be picking any of these up. Oh, and by the way, little cliffhanger as we love to do here, I've actually got one of the GW-BX5600s on the way to the studio right now. So if you want to see an in-hand, up-close review of the new MIP Square, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be first to know as soon as that video drops, and I'll see you there. Take care.